Hello. It has been so long since I last streamed. I can't even think of when I did the last. I'm not going to be on too long. Let me know if anything's loud as well. My volume. But I'm not going to be streaming for too long. I'm only going to be on like an hour. But this is going to be like the first like test stream in a way. A lot of things have happened since the last stream. I want to say like 2-3 years ago. I could be wrong. It's a little loud, okay. Is that any better, or do you want it a little loud? Or even cool? Because this is going to be like the sort of foundation stream in a way. So that I get the settings right now. Streams. Alright, cool. Okay, so first stream in forever. I would have streamed a lot more, but I've had pretty bad internet for a little while now. I've gone onto a mesh network and things seem to be fine. I'll play Primehack in a minute. Everything. People join. How you guys doing? But I don't feel like we've had much like direct interaction unless it's on Twitter. So I wanna know how you guys are doing, especially how you feel about Dread. It's still weird to think about. Good to hear. Let me know if my like voice cuts out like at any point as well, because I've got if I'm too quiet or anything. May even lower it a little. That should do. I've looked at gameplay and unhealthy. I'm trying not to look too much though, because I don't want to spoil myself. I've noticed little details. In my voice like a couple times. Not sure why. Let's do that. You know, not like a veteran streamer or anything like that. I'm still learning the ropes. So this is like the fine-tuning streamer, really. So I'm not even sure if like 1080p is an option for the stream for some reason. I don't know why I think that, but yeah, adjust a couple things. Okay. Let me see how the thing is receiving it. Okay, this should be fine. Let me know if I ever, like, if the stream buffers for any reason, because it's probably on my side. I'm also going to do the Q&A video here as well. I said I'd do a Q&A. And you can ask questions in the chat as well. But I'll still be reading some questions I've had. But for now, I think I will attempt to try Primehack on stream again. Say again. Let's see. Because I need to find the right volume for the game as well. Alright, let's give it a go. Where is my controller? And fun fact about Primehack, you can use a controller. Most people use mouse and keyboard, but I just prefer controllers. Using a mouse like makes me sort of cramp up in my wrist a little bit. I've noticed it a lot more while playing League lately. Say playing League. I've not played League for a little while because Pokemon Unite's been a thing. I'm excited for Harmony of Hunter returns. I love the original album, so I'm optimistic about the music. There's been a few art pieces that I don't really like, unfortunately, and no disrespect to the artists or anything, but it's just like my tastes for how Samus should be like presented. Some of the art pieces are amazing, and I've retweeted like one or two of them, but like I'll just give an example. There was a piece where it's like depicting the test temple in Zero Mission. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's where like Samus is like looking at the depiction, but she has like this zero suit Samus design from Ultimate, where she has the high heels, and if you know anything about me, I really don't like Samus with high heels. So I just feel like going that route was a bit unnecessary. It's like retroactively adding something that didn't need to be added, you know? I hope it makes sense, but overall I'm really looking forward to the soundtrack. I listen to Gravity and Doppelganger all the time. No, that's not part of that, is it? I can't remember. Yeah, Gladrax's Dark Samus picture, that was really good, I like that. I'm not even sure if that's the right way to pronounce it, but yeah, I like that piece. Let me have a little look-see. I won't play any of the music because I'm not sure, because the music stuff has changed a lot since I last streamed. I'm just gonna play it safe and use official, like, Metroid stuff. Let me see, where is it? I don't know. I like the Temple Grounds version. Yeah, the Temple Grounds song in Harmony of the Hunter. Harmony of a Hunter. Yeah, and naturally, because I'm English, I'm gonna pronounce it how I do. From Vario suit, but it has high heels. Never speak to me again. I can't think of anything more cursed. So the other day I saw an edit of the Prime 2 Vario suit, and it had the Prime helmet design. It was awful. It'll make me think about how Samus Returns gave Samus high heels in the suit. Which is the thing people, like, debate about, by the way. I don't know how when it's very obvious. Alright, let's get to some gaming. Been a little while now. Yeah, they gave Samus high heels in Samus Returns in the suit. And it's just normal high heels, not jet boots or anything like that. They're not platform high heels like another M, but still they're high heels regardless. And especially, like, the artwork, it's very obvious that they're there. While she's wearing the suit. I could even show what I mean. Let me see. Because I have too many pictures of Samus. Let me see. Don't take that out of context. Yeah, here we go. I really need 3 screens. We're talking about, like, all the suits in Zero Mission, Samus Returns. It's in all of them. Let me switch to my desktop for a sec, so I can bring over this. You see that? It's like the angle as well. There's also let me bring up another one. Okay, here's a better picture. So in the suit, you can actually see just its high heels, and it's not like the Prime suit where it's just I say Prime, it's like everything before other M, like that. It's very different. And then there's the Zero Suit itself. Let me find the artwork. I can't see what chat's saying at the sec. Hang on. It's just another example. Where is it? I have it somewhere. There we go. This is the official artwork in the Samus Returns art book. It's not, because that's that, but that's not edited. Let me find the actual one, because I am now an idiot. I really should have looked better. Yeah, the high heels are still the same, just someone made an edit of that. There we go, there's the proper one. So there's that. And that's the still official artwork. So, there's quite a few people talking now. Yeah, funnily enough, you mentioned about the boots in Dread, because I was really worried that they were still high heels. But over time, it looks like that's not the reality, because it looks like she's wearing them. Let me try and find a good picture. Because if you just look at the picture, it does kind of look like she's wearing them. I can't find a good picture. My files are just a mess. Okay, yeah. Okay, so it kind of looks like she's wearing them, and I've even got something that sort of illustrated like my worry. Like that. But when I looked further into like the gameplay footage and stuff like that, whenever Samus like knelt or squatted down, these parts would move with it, and the foot didn't go like that, just straight up vertical. If you hear that, I'm sorry about that. I have to have my window open, it's just I need air. Yeah, it doesn't look like she's wearing high heels. Yeah, that's the piece that moves. Like, I know a lot of people don't mind it. It's just I have serious problems with it because it goes completely against what the character's about. And this is going to be like something I talk about in the Samus redesign video, which is coming, but I might have to delay it. Like the 6th of August was a bit optimistic, I think. Let me go through. Maybe the highlights also added the team. Thought Samus' suit wasn't feminine enough. That's the thing. I find it still fairly feminine. It's like the way it's designed. Like the hips are still slightly narrow. The breastplate, like it looks like boob armor, but it's like the best kind of it because it doesn't just go around the boobs themselves. It's like Samus does still look feminine, but so it's not overtly feminine, if you get what I mean. it's like there's female language to her suit. The thing is, like, when when the designers were designing Zero Suit Samus, they said explicitly not to give her high heels. And I just find it funny how, like, less than 10 years later, so more accurately, like, 6 years, they were like, nah, let's not do that. I love the Samus Returns design, so I could look past the small thing. Like, I find the Samus Returns design very overrated, because, like, let's bring it up again. Because to me, it highlights the same issues that I have with Smashes as well as other M Samus. Like, there's no muscle. Like, sure, the legs are quite thick. That's good. But there's nothing else. Like, my arms are bigger than hers. And I don't do anything because I can't. So her waist is... And, right, let me preface as well. People are constantly saying, whenever I bring this up, to not think about it too much. Metroid itself does it. Metroid thinks about itself too much all the time. So, I'm happy to think about it too much. And Metroid takes itself quite seriously. It's not like Sonic or anything like that, where it's cartoony. Where you can have a hedgehog with a massive head, huge hands, and like paper thin arms running around at the speed of sound. Like, that's fine because it's cartoony. But because Metroid does explain far too much, like, it tries to make itself as believable and plausible as possible. So in that context, this doesn't make any sense. I'll go into it more in the Samus redesign video, but for now, like, this just doesn't make sense to me. She's been trained as a warrior since the age of 3, and wears a fully powered suit. That probably weighs a ton. So why doesn't she look like she can even lift the gun attached to it, let alone why is she wearing high heels? She's not Bayonetta. Right, there's that tangent out of the way. I could go on about that for so long. But... Because, like... nah, actually, let me keep reading. Do I have any unpopular Metroid opinions? I think Super Metroid is incredibly overrated. I respect it for what it did, for basically defining a genre, but there are just too many issues I have with it. The controls are very finicky. The space jump just doesn't work half the time. The wall jump it feels a bit forced. It's rewarding when you get the hang of it, but it's very clunky to start off with. The level design, especially how it handles extra power-ups, I find is quite terrible. And it's a product of its time, really, still. In terms of game design. Graphically, it still looks amazing. But, like, there are times where there are 2 items in the same room, and the map doesn't distinguish that there's 2, and the tiles they're behind, it's nothing different at all from the rest of the room. So it's not so much, oh, I discovered this, it's more, how was I supposed to know that was there? So that's my hot take for the day. Smash high heels look far worse. They do. They do. The thing is, I don't mind the jet capability, because they're kind of already in the games, right? High jump boots. Why aren't they high jump boots? Like, they're not high jump heels. the high jump boots. I don't know why they're making them heels. Don't worry, I have a solution to that. Your redesign makes it look powerful. Thank you. I've the artist. Let me link the artist immediately before I forget. I will get to the game just to get that there. I just need to read chat and then shout out to this guy. Right. This is the artist who's doing the redesign I'm working on. Please go check him out. Yeah, I've had a lot of feedback, quote unquote, saying that because Samus goes into a ball, the short hair doesn't make any sense. And because she turns into a ball, she can't be muscular. Which makes me question a few things about those people, but also just logic in general. Those are legit arguments people have told me, by the way. I'm not exaggerating. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. I'm doing pretty alright, especially now that I've sort of settled into this stream now. I was really nervous at first, but now that I've sort of got going, I'm alright. Let me also preface as well with it's like Samus being muscular. Like, a lot of people have said it's because it's a fetish and I'm trying to push a fetish. Which, first of all, what the hell? But second of all, no. It's not that. Because I don't want Samus to be muscular just for the sake of it. Because, like, Samus being muscular just makes sense. It does. She's a soldier who fights hand-to-hand combat with monsters. She should look like she does. That's kind of character design 101. Yeah, I've heard a lot about ROM hacks with Super. I don't know, like, a lot of them also go a bit overboard, both in terms of like how the game actually works, but also for Samus herself. Speedrun the game. Fair play to you for speedrunning it though. I couldn't do that for Super. Speedrunning Samus Returns is a nightmare. It is. Not gonna lie, playing Samus Returns, like, on the 3DS isn't great. I played it for, like, when it first came out. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still an amazing game. But, I played it for 15 hours straight when it came out, and it was an amazing time. But I don't have any intention to go back and play it on the 3DS. Mostly because my attention span, but also how it feels, it's just very clunky. Especially, like, comparing it to using a control. Metroid were to have a crossover with any Nintendo franchise, which one would you want it to be? F-Zero. Or Star Fox. I mean, it's kind of already had crossovers before. Even in just, like, mainline games like in Kirby and Mario. But I like an F-Zero crossover. Specifically. Modification for Space Jump where the timing's removed. To be honest, I don't have that much interest in playing Super Metroid too much. So it's not really a thing I want to pursue. Plus, it's just easier to just load it up on Switch and then just get the hang of it. A year to get the hang of everything in Super. Like, there are some things in Super that I can do. Like, I could do the wave beam skip, or at least get it earlier. Oh, pardon me, excuse me. I could get the wave beam earlier, power bomb earlier. It's those sorts of skips that I could do. I could get the virus suit before the high jump as well. Just I feel solely because I feel that the pacing's a bit better. But anything more advanced, I can't do and don't care to do. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest fan of Super. Like, again, I respect it for what it did. And story-wise, it hits me, and music is phenomenal. But I would much rather play other games. Hello and welcome to the stream. Toad Mima, that's a name and a half. Samus Returns has the same issues as Metroid 2. I do get that complaint. That's understandable, and I feel like that's more of a criticism of the original game rather than Samus Returns itself. I don't pardon me, I don't even know how to do the Mark pull. But I also don't care to know. I hate Gamma Metroids. I hate the ones that run away. They're the ones that are really annoying. Alright, I've kept you waiting long enough. It's been, I want to say, half an hour since the stream started. And this has just been hanging on the screen. So, let's play some Primehack. Let me know about the volume as well. Pardon me. I like the Zetas. They're really cool. I like that they're more Xenomorph-like. Oh yeah, I know you can kill them before they run off. I did it once on a replay. I thought I did it twice, but I didn't. Let me know about volume and which game you want me to play first. Well, I'll say first. I'll only play a little bit of it. Volume is Pog? Hell yeah. That's the ultimate good. Late Prime, okay. That's probably the one that runs the best, so... Okay. Okay, so I will say Primehack isn't perfect, and I think I have a few settings that I do still need to adjust. But throughout the normal, just overall gameplay, it's perfectly fine. Obviously, I'm going to go veteran. Oh. Excuse me a sec. Alright, I'm back. I had a phone call. Why would you put that in the chat? It's now forever cursed. I hate it. Alright. Oh, you can hear the control, but that's fine. It's a constant reminder. I tell you what, I'll adjust it a little bit. Is that all good? Ah, that'll do. Alright, let's play some Prime. With a controller. Yeah, this pink screen, this is a Primehack thing, and I think I can change it, but I don't know how. But it's not a big deal. Such a great opening. Let me know if it's quiet or anything like that. Oh, pardon me. What are your guys' favourite Metroid games? Prime Hunter's single player mode is awful. Uses the same bosses and the only boss I actually like is final boss. Yeah, that's a fair. Like, Hunters is very weird. It's definitely a multiplayer first game. Which I don't think is bad for Metroid, personally. It just needs to be done right. And I think multiplayer-wise, Hunters did quite good in that field, but the fact the campaign suffered, it isn't good. It doesn't help that I functionally cannot play it on the DS. Say functionally, I mean fundamentally. Super. First time I played in Metroid. Also really like Fusion. Yeah, Fusion's underrated, I find. Okay. Let me change a couple options because they do get on my nerves already. Wrong one. Hunt systems off, bonus credit off. Immediately. Yeah, don't worry about if it like stutters much at the beginning. I think that's just how Primehack sort of works. In the shaders. I think Silex is overrated. That's interesting. I think that's more because nothing's been done with him yet, and it might change soon. I like that they're going with Silex for Prime going forward. Because the potential is really good. I do like Weevil and Trace though. I feel like the Kraken really should be expanded upon. Yeah. I always thought this guy was decapitated, but his head is right there. English, yeah. Yeah, I think my favorite, well, it's not really, I think, like, my favorite Metroid game is Echoes, but I do think Prime is, like, the quintessential Metroid game. So I like Echoes for what it does differently. Especially the Luminarth. I think the Luminarth are probably my favorite thing in Metroid. Right. What does Primehack change? So it changes practically everything to do with motion controls. So you see that the cursor's in the middle of the screen. You can change it and stuff like that, but this is like, you know, how the trilogy usually played. But it lets you bind it to the center of the screen, but also look around like a traditional shooter. But you can also bind it to controls, which is what I'm doing. But more importantly to me, it allows you to change the field of view. And what I mean by that, let's just give it a go right now. So this is the original field of view for the Metro Prime games. And to a lot of people that's fine. Especially if they don't know anything different. But, like, not gonna lie, once you go 94, it's a huge difference. Samus is probably the worst playable character in Metroid Prime Hunters multiplayer. Yeah, I like... If she spams the missiles, she's pretty good. But why not just be Trace with the sniper or Silex with the lifesteal on shot coil? Yeah, so this is what Primehack allows you to do. It also allows you to change where your gun goes. So do you want to be Doom? You could be Doom. Wouldn't it be ridiculous? You could be ridiculous. You could even have a look at the arm cannon from this side, which you're never supposed to do. You could do all sorts with it. But what? Yeah, it's cursed. Like, imagine playing the game like this the entire time. What is cool is that, like, the gun, like, the ammo, not ammo, fucking, the shots fired, and I do swear. I'm sorry if that, like, upsets anyone, but I do swear occasionally. But it's cool that the shots follow the cannon. But what I do is, and you can change it so, like, you could go back and forth at any time. So what I do is I run Metroid Logbook on Twitter, and what I do is I disable, like, all the visor and stuff like that, and so I move the cursor over there and then take a screenshot to post on Logbook. So legit Logbook wouldn't be possible without Primehack. Another thing you could do is disable Bloom on Corruption. Like, you could either lower it a bit or completely disable it, and I find disabling it, like, completely, it looks so much better than normal Echoes, because you could actually... Echoes, Corruption. Because you could actually see what you're looking at now. Alright, let's play some more. And so, yeah, you can bind it to whatever you want. You can play on mouse and keyboard, normal controller, even though apparently it's not supposed to be possible to play on a controller because of how Corruption uses motion controls. But, you know, Primehack is like, no. How does Samus use the bathroom if her suit is fused to her from fusion, supposedly? It's not fused to her. It does still come off. She doesn't go in the. She doesn't go to the bathroom in the suit. It's not. It's not Halo's suits. It's not Mjolnir. And I know there's probably at least one person who's read all the Halo books. It's like, does it actually do that? I know, that's the joke. Hello, Paper Metroid. Kids game, apparently. Hello, Legend of Metroid. You've been following me for a little while, haven't you? Great to see you here. Because the stream seems to be going alright, I might stream a bit more. I've been tempted to do it a lot more lately. Now to completely mince. That was a lot slower than what I usually do. No mercy. I could do it quicker, but I just fumbled on the controls, because this is still wholly new to me. Okay, I think it might start here, because this has usually got... Yeah, there we go. Oats. Oh yeah, so the bomb jump like that, that's usually a thing you do on the Wiimote. Just by flicking it up and stuff. You can bind that to a button, so I have it on B. I would have it on A, but the boost ball is automatically bound to that, and I assume that's just how the game is originally coded. I should get power bombs early in Prime 1, really? I feel like I'm being set up for a joke, but enlighten me. E10. I feel like that's going to be eating these nuts or something like that. Yeah, I immediately called it out. Frame 1. Yeah, I don't know who Uts and Guts is. I don't really watch super speedruns. I don't really watch speedruns in general, not gonna lie. Infinite speed glitch? Okay. Well, thank you for coming, Patrick. I'm glad that's all you did. Oh, let me through, come on. Yeah, a lot of people like to call this bit out, being like, okay, so if it takes itself so seriously, why does Samus lose her power-ups there like that? It's an explosion, dude! Probably a nuclear one as well. Another thing you could do in Primehack is like you could speed up those little things, like where like doors take ages to open and stuff like that. You can enable a feature to disable that, but I like to have it on for the authenticity, and plus it gives the game a chance to actually load. I will say this bit does usually stutter. It's probably like an out of bounds thing in something, like you clip into somewhere to get the power bombs early. Because you're talking about, I assume the one that's behind ice. And it's usually like a powerbomb ammo thing. Yeah, I figured. It's probably... It makes sense that you could get that one early, because it's just a simple box in a room that you could probably just clip into. I don't actually know how to get it, but that's what comes to mind. Let me know if the volume's still good. And it'd be a little embarrassing if this whole time it's been quite pants. Let me know about the quality of the stream as well, because I'm curious to hear about that. Even though I've been streaming for like an hour. I won't save. Why did that shot go up there? I just love this place. Boost Ball doesn't have a speed cap? That sounds a bit bizarre. The light show. What types of Metroid games do you guys prefer? I take it most of you prefer the 2D ones, because a few of you said you prefer Super. dark screen, okay. I mean, that makes sense, because the values and stuff. Probably over the top. 2D ones most of the time, that's fair. Not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest fan of the 2D games, but that's mostly just because I prefer 3D, just in general. The only 2D game that I really, really like is Aim2R. Zero Mission as well, tell a lie. Yeah, Zero Mission's very good. It's probably one of the best ways to introduce someone to the series. That and Prime. Aim2R for me is probably the greatest 2D Metroid game. I'm still excited for Dread though, don't get me wrong. If anything, even just to have the story advance a bit more. Okay, that one was a bit weird. Yeah, I find Zero Mission and Prime to be the best ways to introduce people to the franchise. It teaches you the languages of both styles of gameplay. You can also move the camera while things are paused just there. Very weird. Ah, pardon me. Well, that's a weird slowdown. Oh. I don't have the most up-to-date computer, so... But the fact it's running at 1080p at all is quite impressive to me. %, Zero Mission can be a pain. I've never actually 100%ed it. Oh, this is a weird slowdown. It's probably just because I'm streaming that it's slowing down a fair bit. If I'd be recording at the same time, it would probably be a whole lot worse. % fusion is harder. I've not 100%ed that either. Okay, Primehack does not like my explosions at all while I'm streaming. Oof. Oof, this is very weird. Okay, okay, it's probably time to change some things, because that is very weird. Subscribe to Twitch Prime. Yeah, guys, go on. Let me edit some things. Let's just go with 720p for now. Should lighten the load a bit. Field of view makes it look like she's walking extra fast. Yeah, it feels a lot nicer to move around. Yeah, it looks a little more blurry, but if the performance is overall better, then I don't mind. And funnily enough, the field of view, like, somewhat inspired me to think about more of how Samus could move around in first person. Oh, I don't have missiles. Hang on. There we go. Yeah, like I was thinking of how Metro Prime could really use Halo 5 as like a baseline for implementing more of the 2D games mobility into the first person games. Because like Halo 5 is a really mobile game. I mean, like, you move around quickly, not it's a mobile game. Can I get Primehack? I'm not sure if I can even tell you at the minute. But I'm sure if you just look up on YouTube Primehack tutorial and stuff. The one I recommend watching is the video talking about Primehack as well as a HD texture pack. I don't have that enabled because my computer really doesn't like that. But that specific video, I can't remember who it's by, but you might spot it. Because that's how I got it and stuff. This music is so groovy though. You just head bop to it all the time. Strategy, I guess. You can get early space jump. Yeah, and I don't even know how to do it anyway. So it's not a thing I really want to pursue. Like for me, I like to play the games like as intended. It's just more fun to me. But I do occasional skips in like Super, mostly because I don't care enough to like keep it as like authentic as possible, I guess, for like a better way of phrasing it. But I find like doing the skips I I said do the ones I do, the skips I have, I just find it flows way better. Yeah, I have Prime GameCube as well. I have a GameCube over there, behind me as well. I have the trilogy, original Prime and Prime 2 as well. Bad at preserving the games, they really are. It's terrible. I'm glad the trilogy even exists. It's a miracle given how Nintendo do things. I could see the appeal of speedrunning, but it's just not appealing to me unless I'm probably in a very specific mood to do it. But Prime, I find it's like the game to really immerse yourself in. Yeah, I just want to ask again, is the game too quiet, too loud, or anything like that? Am I too loud, too quiet? Yeah, it's Primehack, yeah. You do it with dolphin. A specific kind of dolphin. Hiroshika, I think it is? Basically the dolphin with the red logo. I am not condoning you play it this way in any way, shape, or form. I just happen to have it. Oh, I get stuck at that part all the time. Yeah, honestly, once going back to the Prime trilogy and even the original Prime, it feels so claustrophobic, and it even makes me feel a little nauseous now because the field of view is so different. Because I'm playing the field of view at 94, which is like the maximum you should go for in any of the Prime games. And the Prime games usually run their field of view at like 60 odd. It's a major difference. Okay, it seems to be running a lot better now that I've turned it to 720. Probably just need a better computer to run at like 1080p. I'll probably do the Q&A once I get back to my ship. Which will probably be when I do get the high jump boots. Well, space jump, but you know what I mean. Damn it. First try. Like that I don't mind doing, because that's like an optional upgrade. Plus it saves me coming back here later on. New Metro video coming along? Do you mean the Samus redesign one? So that's gonna have to be on hold for a little bit. Especially if Infinite actually starts working. It's also just taking a lot longer to do. Because I've actually got the art for it now. It's all done. I just need to actually make the video now. But it is coming in August. I'm not sure about the 6th. And I think that was a bit too optimistic for me to make. That call. I might do something else for the 6th. That's just a possibility, I'm not sure. Maybe another stream. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. Yeah, in August, that's when the Samus redesign video is coming out, because it's going to be a big video. I want to say like around 40 minutes long. Hope it activates. Yeah, it did. Because I've had problems with that specific tile for some reason. I'm not sure if it's a Primehack thing or just a Prime thing. Well, that's where you were. Actually, let's get rid of the... Oh, look at those missiles. Yeah, I have a couple videos planned, not gonna lie. I have the Samus redesign one. I have the villain thing I want to talk about as well. Maybe some updated thoughts on Dread, which I could give right now, actually. The Chozo as well. Just a few things that, even like canonicity of stuff. I know that's gonna probably send people like, oh no, please don't start. But if you hear like other people, it's fine. I do live with other people, so low key to be expected. Yeah, I don't live on my own just yet, unfortunately. I want to, just haven't got the like resources for it yet. If you time that jump right, you can get like a mega jump, which is always fun to do. Actually, I should have on that side. Oh, I missed you. the ink take control of an X parasite, or would the X infect it and kill it? That's a good question. I think the X would win though, because the ing are inherently biological. So I get, like, they both possess in a way, but I don't think there's even enough mass for an ing to even infect an X parasite. So next is just a blob. But that's enough to take over, like, whole creature. I know I said I'd only be playing for like an hour, but here we are. Yeah, probably won't talk about like canonicity stuff unless I'm asked about it, because I know a lot of people do get quite frustrated about that sort of conversation. A posing for power. Hell yeah. Definitely one of the best Vario suit designs. Not the best to me, but definitely think that's Echo's Vario suit. Echo's has so many good suits. It's ridiculous. No full damage. Let's not go down there just yet. The lengthened arm cannon's weird to look at. It takes some getting used to, but thankfully you can change it to however you want. You can move it to the left, forward, back, wherever you want. Even in really ridiculous spots. But I've gotten used to it, and it definitely feels a lot more natural to me. If people have the arm cannon all the way to the left, they're heathens. All the way to the top right, though, however, that's very good. They're based then. I nearly completely missed that. I nearly fell off. Oh, I would have not been happy if I did that. Top right arm cannon only. It makes me like a little annoyed that Halo Infinite, like, it has view model adjustments like this, but it's not as extreme. It's like it only goes halfway, and even then it doesn't go like directly in the center of the screen, and I was hoping you could do that. That's a thing I'm definitely gonna mention, because I definitely like to have the shotguns and like rocket launchers in the center of the screen, and the pistols like really forward, but the rifles like slightly lower. And I talk about like Halo Online, where the view model could really go crazy. About as good as this. It's crazy what like the modding scene can do, man. Nintendo, hire these men. Primehack really doesn't like this part for some reason. Get the power bombs early. I have no idea how to do it. So I don't know any of the major skips. It's also, I don't like to do that unless it's like, it feels like it flows better to me, or it's like slightly easy to pull off. Like the, funnily enough, the power bomb, getting the power bombs early in Super. I do that just because I know how to do it. Same with the wave beam. Takes a bit of time, yeah. Probably. I just like to, with Prime specifically, I like to play it as intended. I like to get really immersed in it. And then I do that. Samus has powerful legs. At least she should. Nah, it's all in the suit, guys. Love magma caverns. Destroy Thardus with power bombs? I didn't even think that would have been possible. Oh yeah, this is veteran. It doesn't take 3 to kill. Unless it does and I just missed. Oh, never mind. Oh, these things, I hate them so much. I know I'm skipping a couple things, like, I think there's a missile in there that I can get. I could be wrong. I think you might need the super missile to get it, but I'm not even saving this game specifically, so I don't mind. Ah, of course. Punishment for trying. Oh, come on. Yeah, I'm doing it again. Two power bombs if you use the start, it takes a quarter health. Okay. I can see that saving a chunk of time. Because a lot of people's problems with Thardus is that it just takes forever. Especially in like harder difficulties. I always struggle to find that, and I have no idea why. It's fairly obvious that something is there. Ah, my mind just completely ignored that you press A to jump. So A. And then, wait, A. There we go. Yeah, because it's the power bomb in this room? I think it's this room? I'm pretty sure that you're all talking about. No, it's not this one, it's, I think it's another one. Well, it has to be another one then. It's just the one where you go down, and then there's the power bomb upgrade. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. I want this alien vomit just to get off. These things always terrify me, and I have no idea why. That one up there, that's the one I'm thinking of. Vendrona Drift's Hunter's remake. That's not at all what you said, but the remix of Vendrona Drifts in Hunters, that's what you said. I don't think I remember there being Vendrona. Like, Vendrona specifically. I know there's like an ice theme, but didn't think it was Vendrona. Not gonna lie, a lot of Hunter's music is somewhat forgettable, especially when you put it up against the rest of the franchise. I like the Meta Ridley. Excuse me. I like the Meta Ridley version of it. Well, not Meta Ridley version. I'm not the best when it comes to speaking, but the Hunter's version of the Ridley theme, I like. There we go. Is it? I'll have to have a listen then, because I can't remember off the top of my head. It's been a little while since I've played through Hunters. It's one of the, I can't remember the I boss. It's one of those. Oh, okay. You could just eat my ass, but, you know, Yeah, one of the I want to say Sklench. Oh, I think that's its name. One of those has the Ridley remix, and it's pretty good. Slench, that's it. Okay. Yeah. One of them has the Ridley theme. I think it's the second one. The second Slench. In fact, I have to say the second one. It's like, I think there's 3 of them. Cetrafid, yeah. The long sausage thing. Yeah, I think I like Alanos's first song as well. Oh, pardon me. Excuse me. I love this. It's a very nice, both callback, but also just, I find better design. Oh, I can nearly make it. Oh, never mind. It's okay, Samus, you can just melt for a sec. You can also spam multiple jump in Primehack. I don't remember Goria's fight much, I'm not gonna lie. I think I've only done it once. Let's go. I didn't actually know that. Okay, yeah, it does take 4. I didn't miss. Yeah, I need to play through Hunters again. Before Dread, I am gonna play through all of the Metro games, like, chronologically. Yeah, I remember that. Like, I have played and beat Hunters, I just don't remember too much. Inbull stream when? I haven't actually played that. And I have no idea where I'd even get it. But it's the greatest Metroid game of all time. So I haven't played it, and that just speaks to how good it is. So I'm not worthy of touching it. Can I just... There we go. Not jump down. Remember, A is to jump. Here we go. Hell yeah. Yeah, I do feel like Silex is like the main bad in Prime 4. I feel like it would reference the other hunters. And just hunters in general. I want there to be a Metroid game that references everything in a way. Oh, you're watching it on the phone? Oh god. I hate how my voice sounds when it comes out of a phone. But that's fine. Shows you commitment. Thank you. Thank you guys for watching, by the way. This isn't the end, but I want to thank you guys for like tuning in. Especially on like relatively short notice. But I think that might do for Prime. But yeah, I think that'll do for Prime. I might show you like Prime 2 is kind of the same when it comes to Primehack. So I'll skip out on Prime 2, but it's still very good. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a quick break because I need a cup of tea. That's a British stereotype. I'll happily go through over and over. Tea's my favorite drink. But I will go for a break quick to get a tea, and I will be right back. Let's do all this then. Right, be back in a sec. Hello, I'm back. Apparently, I'm lagging a lot. I'm not sure how things are for you guys. Yeah, apparently I've just got bad internet at the minute. It's been fine up until now. I do not know why. Pardon me. Is everything still fine for you guys? I've even lowered the bitrate, just in case. Because it was 9,000, and now I've put it to 6,000. Apparently there shouldn't be too much of a difference, but it's still a good chunk to lose out on. In case things are going a bit pants. Haven't had any issues yet. I mean, the preview stream I have, it's a little delayed, a bit more than usual. I'm getting green now, though, on OBS. Let's have a look around. Okay, OBS is telling me I'm fine. Is anyone buffering? Okay, I've got excellent connection again. Okay. We should all be good. I've had 11 people watch. Holy hell. Not 12 even. Yeah. So since I have occasional lag spikes, I guess, what I might do is I might do the Q&A now. I would play Corruption, but I do also have food soon. And I don't want to keep you guys waiting for like an hour while I eat. So what I'll do now is I'll do the Q&A now. I already put out a community post, which is cool to finally have now that I've reached 1,000 subs. Do I start asking for a friend? Well, that friend can DM me. Right. So I have the community post for the Q&A now. Let me do something. Let's do this for a sec. And okay. Can I do this in newest first? Okay, and then let's do ordered. Okay. So, Rick Hubert, I always love your content. Thank you, Rick. I know you might not be here, but that really does mean a lot. So my question is, what is your opinion on the Switch OLED model and Nintendo's strategy to combine its marketing with Metroid 5? Thanks and keep up the good work. The OLED model, like, it's a disappointment. So, I like how it looks. I wish it was just a better piece of hardware. Like, I wish it would run games better, both in docked as well as in handheld. The bigger screen is a big selling point to me personally, especially because lately I've been playing Unite more handheld. By Unite I mean Pokemon Unite. And just games in general, I've been playing it more portably. So like I can already see like some value to some people for that. But it's overall a bit of a letdown to go on 4 years and there be no significant hardware improvements. But I do like that Nintendo are sort of combining it with Dread. It's a very good strategy, I think, especially for new Switch owners. Yeah, so like, if someone hasn't got a Switch, I would recommend the OLED, and obviously Dread with it. But for those who already have a Switch, there's no point because the games aren't in any way, shape, or form improved. They might have the drift fix though, which is interesting. That's pure speculation, but thoughts on the Dread suit shift locker? I love the Dread suit. It's quickly become one of my favorites. There was like an initial worry I had with the high heel thing, and some people are like, out of all the things you could have complaints about is the high heels, and like, yeah, like criticism of any kind, as long as it's constructive, is valuable. It doesn't matter what the the criticism is about. And it's not like arbitrary, like Samus says high heels, I'm mad. I actually have reasoning behind it. And I will go into that on the Samus redesign video. Also, I heard you making a video on Other M. I will be, yeah. Especially because the latest couple of Dread reports is only boosting my sort of view on its like canonicity. Because there's like so many people have been saying like Other M is canon, no questions asked. I don't think that's true. But like obviously at the moment it's canon. It just is. But to also say you're not allowed to question it, I find is very stupid, basically. But the reasons people have given that Other M is canon, like it's the foundation of like certain gameplay mechanics, the aesthetics, and I'm like, that has no say in what's canon or not. Only the story does. And there's a lot of issues with Other M's story. Like it contradicts near enough everything in the franchise. To me, it's not canon solely because of both Samus and the Queen Metroid's existence. Really clear. Do you mean like that sort of justifies why it should be canon because it exists in Fusion? Because I find that was more a mystery as opposed to, you know, it just flat out confirms Other M was necessary. But then that also begs the question, why does Fusion can't happen if Other M exists? because it's literally the exact same premise, and then Samus looks like an idiot if she goes through all fusion. Yeah, I don't like the Ridley clone either. It's first of all, it's unnecessary, but the handling of it was really, really poor. Other stories far better in Japan. I do disagree, mostly because the problems I have with it are still prevalent. Samus is a little better, but it's not anything to write home about. But that's the thing. Other M story, like, a lot of people have said to judge Other M story based on the Japanese version. I find that's wrong to do because everything about Other M's shows that the English version is the true version, quote unquote. Because everything in the cutscenes lip sync, that's all matched to the English dub. And if you go to the Japanese version, there's no Japanese language anywhere, which is very unusual for a Japanese-based game to do. Breath of the Wild, the lip sync on that, and even the text, it's based on the Japanese version. So even if you have like Breath of the Wild in English dub, the lip sync still matches the Japanese version. It's the other way around for Other M, which is very unusual. Yeah, she's not portrayed as like someone who has daddy issues, which I'm glad about, but it's still very much not Samus, if you still get what I mean. It's better, but thing is, I don't have a problem with Ridley showing up at Samus Returns, because it leads into Super then. It was like, how did Ridley know that Metroid was there? Samus Returns explains that now. And it also validates Prime even more. Samus Returns did so much for the timeline. It's very bizarre. Like Samus Returns even soft confirms that Other M is not canon, or at least doesn't make sense now. I would say he just got messed up by Samus. Kind of does every time, to be honest, but it's like Proteus Ridley, I find, validates the Prime series, but also how, and it also like validates my stance on why I feel Other M isn't canon. I said we wouldn't talk about this, but here we are. He's also gone back on what he feels about Prime, because I wouldn't blame him if he felt a bit jealous about it, but he's definitely welcomed it, especially in more recent years, and Samus Returns just proves that. Sapphire, what do you mean, like, it doesn't make sense that you got recovered so fast? As in, he healed very quickly? Because in that case, he regenerates just in general. He was nearly fully healed at Samus Returns. Like, most of him was flesh at that point. And you see, like, the cybernetic parts of him, they fall off. Because he's regenerated now. And that's a thing that Ridley can do. He eats to regenerate himself. And that's from the manga. You're lagging? Oh no. Let me see my thing. I'm fine. think I've lagged a couple times, but yeah, I won't be too long. So what I'll do is I'll just keep going through these. Why did Goria not kill the hunters after it absorbed their weapons? I think it's just absorbed their energy. Bread. You'd think they'd die, but he just absorbed their energy, really, and their weapons. And plus he had to deal with Samus afterwards. So he didn't really have time to kill them. If you could have a hunter from Prime Hunter's Return that isn't Silex, who would you want? Personally, I would like to see Weevil. Mr. Foxhat. I would love to see Weevil as well. I think in between Federation Force and Samus Returns, Ridley shouldn't appear, but instead the pirate should be led by Weevil, a la Decepticons in Transformers. So like Ridley's like the Megatron of the Space Pirates, whereas Weevil's the Starscream, where he's constantly trying to be the leader, but is actively like weakening the pirates. Which would be really cool. And then when Ridley does return, he becomes the body you see in Super. Because we never got confirmation as to who that was. The body outside of Kraid's area. But it looks uncannily similar to Weevil. Not to mention the blood is yellow. Or green, I'm not sure which one. But it's not red. So yellow, that could be like a type of power fluid, because remember, Weevil is a cyborg. Most of him is brain and nervous system. So, are you sure it's green? I'll have a look. Let me check. Is it in? I think it's yellow, but I could be wrong. That's the wrong place. It's been a while since I made that graphic. I can't seem to find it. No, whatever. Point is, I think the dead body outside of Kraid's room, that's Weevil, personally. It would just make sense, and then the possibilities with that is really, really interesting. And then it connects the 2D games to Prime, which is low-key like something I really want Metroid to do. Like solidify the connection, and not just in like music tracks and stuff or subtlety with Ridley. Let's see. Oh, I completely missed a question. Electric Pikachu. Do you think that there are two branches of the Federation, one from the Prime series and the other being from other M Fusion? I've toyed with that idea, and it would kind of make sense. And they are different because the Marines in, well, the troopers you see in other M and Fusion and stuff like that, they are troopers. They're from the army. Whereas, I believe, anyway, so don't quote me on that, but the Prime troopers for the Federation, they're Marines. So they're a completely different attachment of the military for the Federation. So like Echoes and Corruption, they have Federation Marines. Let me move my wire, hang on, sorry if this is loud. Yeah, the Federation soldiers in the Prime games, they're Marines, and so they're like more naval bound as opposed to just straight up ground battles and stuff like that. They in between, like they go in between, but and interchange and go from space to ground, but they're not dedicated to the ground like the um the army is. Because the Federation works a lot like how the American um like military works. Same with like Halo and stuff. When do you think the the Metro report is going to show up? I don't know. I think it's every 2 weeks they go up, but I could be wrong. I feel like one showed up like 3 weeks after the first. But I don't know. I think the next Dread report though is really going to tell what Other M status is in the story. Because so far in the story, they've really not mentioned Other M at all. The only reference they've given is to the marketing. See, like the past is prologue. New report tomorrow. Really? I'm not too sure about that, but I'll keep an eye out. Yeah, story so far. It recalls the story of the franchise. Because the latest one we just had, that's for the 2D series overall, but it also mentions the storyline specifically, which is why I'm constantly saying, wait, hang on, where's Other M? Because Other M is in the same storyline. It'd be like mentioning, I don't know, like Star Wars The Clone Wars when you're talking about the prequels. It's just as integral to the story. Doesn't prosthetic Ridley do that already? Wait, what do you mean now? To show that Ridley was recovering, or? Oh yeah, like make Prime connected. Yeah, that's the thing. Like Ridley in Samus Returns, it's more subtle. It's like it's more of a nod. I could see it as, and same with all the music and stuff. Because someone can interpret that as like Ridley just recovering at the end of Zero Mission. Because that can be an interpretation, but the obvious reference is Meta Ridley. But I just want a hardcore like mention of Talon, and I feel like Dread is doing that with the Chozo. Okay, let's have a look here. Yeah, to like answer this, like I think what it means is like, is there like what Other M calls ringleaders, where there's like a group working behind the scenes. They shouldn't be there by the end of Fusion, because that also talks about a sort of third party within the Federation, as far as I remember. The like, I'm not sure if there should still be, especially like after Other M, because we're going on the assumption that Other M is canon for now. But then Fusion doesn't make sense. Prime doesn't. Anyway, because there are different branches of the military and like civilian workforces and stuff like that. But in terms of like the governing body, it's a complicated one. Because see, this is why I hate Other M, and it's like, oh, you just want Other M to be not canon just because you hate it. It's like, I hate it because of the story stuff, and that's the part that doesn't make sense, and that's why it shouldn't be canon, because it actively contradicts everything. So it's like, in Other M, there are apparently ringleaders who wanted to do the Metro breeding program. Why are they still there for Fusion? Anyway. Yeah, I don't personally like the idea of there being still a a ringleader sort of third party in the Federation governing body. If any of that even makes any sense whatsoever. Um, but when it comes to like the military, like the other M Federation troopers, they are different from the ones in the Prime series. There's the ones in Prime games, they're Marines. Other M and Fusion, they're like proper soldiers, like ground forces, as far as I could remember. Yeah, I read that one. Who's your favorite character in the Metroid manga? That's an oddly specific one. GF Martian shipyards. Well, the obvious is like Samus, but I like how Ridley is. I really like how Ridley acts. Because he's manipulative and conniving. And I think that's a really good direction for Ridley. Because I've had a few people talk to me about like Ridley speaking. I want him to talk like that. But I also don't want him to sound like your stereotypical lizard villain. Where he hisses and grumbles and stuff like that. I want him to sound smart. But also be smart. So a voice I had in mind was like Smaug from The Hobbit, but also the elites from Halo. That sort of voice, specifically Artas Vedum, the shipmaster. Like those voices, I think would be brilliant for Ridley. And like the way he'd speak, like he talks shit, but he has the position to do it, and he has the skills to back it up. And he can be manipulative, he can torture, he gets stuff done. So I'd say Ridley. Now that I'm talking about it, Ridley's probably my favorite. It's just the potential of what could be done with him. I'm pretty sure that one of the developers for the game said that prosthetic Ridley was supposed to be directly referenced the trilogy. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. And the like official name, I think it's official. It's Proteus Ridley. And it's not hard to like make the connection that it's supposed to be Meta Ridley, or at least referencing that. But like I said, I'm sure some people would have the take that it's just referencing that he's come back, really, and is recovering from what happened in Zero Mission. Some people can make the argument, and it's not really one you can argue with. Really, I don't think anyway. But one you wouldn't be able to argue with is like, say, if the Chozo in Dread says he's from Talon and escaped just before the Leviathan hit it. That's pretty irrefutable. Because that's the thing, like, that Chozo in Dread doesn't look anything like Old Bird or Grey Voice. He looks like the Talon Chozo. I'll just say Prime Chozo. I'll go between Talon and Prime Chozo, because I call it Talon a lot, but it should be more accurately Elysian Chozo, because that's where they came from first, I believe, before they went to Talon. Yeah, you could use the developer statement, but like for me, I don't like to use real life stuff to call things canon and stuff. I like to go off of the actual games and stuff like that. Because that's why I view Other M as not canon, because the game itself contradicts the other games, not because of what someone else has said. Because game stuff you can't refute. But the last one here, Q Turtle, what is your opinion on the Metroid manga, especially on the characterization of Samus, Chozo's, Ridley, and Adam? It's been a while since I've read it. Like I said, I like Ridley. I like what they did there. The Chozo, they're bizarre, especially considering like Grey Voice. He was a bit weird, I find. Old Bird is like, you can't not love him. Yeah, I feel like they handle Chozo a bit weirdly. If that makes sense. Adam, I don't know. He just seems to be a bit of an extension on the fusion type of Adam. Oh, pardon me, that was a gross one. I don't like that Samus was basically given authorization to go to Zebes. That was annoying. But Samus overall, I think it does a better job at like highlighting and showcasing the conflict with herself as a person, as well as her role as a bounty hunter and the savior of the galaxy. So I feel like it highlights that a bit better, but I find it's wholly unnecessary. The PTSD scene as well, that's where it makes sense. I'm kind of ballsy they were willing to die to take down Mother Brain. Yeah, that's fair. Like the character arc that Grey Voice had. The suit he wears as well is really cool. It's also really graphic. The manga in general, like Ridley just straight up stabs the guy. Like you see blood go everywhere. It's really cool, and I want Metroid to go further in that sort of direction. Well, show blood when it's necessary, like in Prime and stuff. When will you start playing? I've already played. You'll be able to watch back if you want. I'm just doing the Q&A thing now. Yeah, there's blood in Prime. Space pirate blood all over the place. Even in Echoes, there's a lot there. It's very fleshy as well. Corruption, not as much. But a lot of what that does, it's not needed. It's the bodies themselves that are like, especially the part where you find the Metroids in the Elysian thing. That part, that still makes me jump. Because you don't need the blood to get the atmospheric stuff. Oh, I think there's human blood in Echoes. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that, but I think there's definitely human blood. Thoughts on Metro Prime 3 and what it does for the series lore? I love it. Like, it thinks far too much, and I'm all for it. I need to look more into, like, the, Brionian lore. But I love how, like, the Chozo are sort of connected to everything. It's not my favorite, like, lore-wise. Echoes, oh, Echoes is perfection when it comes to lore. And storytelling and stuff like that. Like, Echoes is my favorite game of all time. Especially for Metroid. It's not the best Metroid, because it does, like, so many things differently. I found, like, Prime is the quintessential Metroid game. But I like Echoes for what it does differently. And the Luminoth are, like, the main highlight of that. Right, so that does these questions. So what I will do, I'll play a little bit of Corruption. just to sort of show what Primehack does there. That's the wrong thing. Let me open that up. Let me rebind that. Okay. Yeah, I like what Prime 3 did in terms of lore. Amazing. Like, Prime 3 is... Where's my control? That's over there. Prime 3 is really underrated. A lot of people hate it, especially the opening. I love the opening. Especially as a Halo guy. Let me turn on the volume. There we go. Once again, let me know if it's loud or anything like that. Because I find, like, Metroid needs a little bit more action without sacrificing the Metroidvania stuff, obviously. But it's like, I don't know, I would like a lot more action to sort of test the player. Oh yeah, it's definitely like the last great game to me. Funnily enough, Primehack as well, there's issues with corruption, where if you have like a certain feature and stuff like that enabled or disabled, the field of view in cutscenes is like zoomed out. And if you relaunch Primehack and then start a new save file with the correct settings, this will, like, for example, the save file that originally had the field of view issues will still have those issues, but the new one won't. As far as I remember, anyway. I always have to add that little caveat because I feel like I could be wrong at any moment. And it's also showcased like how the motion controls works. Okay, flame's fine. But yeah, I do think like Corruption is the last great Metroid game, and I do say great with confidence. I will say Corruption does lag a bit more when it comes to Primehack, especially for me. Sorry about the pink screen. I'm not sure how to change that for Primehack. See, now that I gave like this sort of spiel on how the field of view thing like breaks the game, I'm probably gonna look like an idiot, and it'll still probably be zoomed out. Yeah, it's zoomed out. So, is it zoomed out? Yeah, it is. Like, far zoomed out. Holy hell. So for now, let's just turn on the correct setting. Actually, you know what? Not many people see echoes. No, echoes. Wow. Not many people see Corruption in this way, so let's... Yeah, we can see this now. Yeah, not many people see Corruption like this. So this is a neat little detail. Let me do this quick. Okay. Yeah, Corruption is like really like the game that sort of tests Dolphin, really. A lot of people have issues with it, even like high end. And I'm not sure if my like settings are like truly optimized. Because I've had to, like, set all this up twice, and it was a hassle. Oh, come on. There we go.
Transmission verified. Greetings, Samus. We welcome you on behalf of the Galactic Federation.
Yeah, they do look good, like, even zoomed out. There are some where it's like, okay, it's clearly not meant to be seen like this. It's like some animations, like, will be a little stiff. So, let's see. And there'll be a good example in a sec. Yeah, this is what Primehack really does as well. It's like, you're able to use the motion controls and bind it to, like, an input, really. So like, there are ships there that sort of go through the Olympus, but you wouldn't see that in the normal working cutscenes. Oh, I didn't even have the settings on that fixes the field of view thing, maybe. But it's cool to see it, like, in this way. It even works, like, into the gameplay, which is a bit bizarre. And you'll see in a sec. Yeah, there it is. It's supposed to be a lot closer. Let me just show you how it's supposed to be. Is it gonna work? Usually. Okay, never mind. It just hates me now. Never mind, we'll just keep it like this. Okay. Yeah, it's a view that not many people see, so yeah, it's a type of treat in a way. In system, okay, it is off. No, I didn't turn off the bonus credit thing. It's just annoying. So I want to see if it's okay. It's off. Oh, that's a thing I do want to highlight. Let's do this. Okay, so you see how it looks now? That's how it slightly looks in the normal game. I'd say that's a bit more accurate, actually. Yeah, this is how it looks in the original game. This is like to reduce the bloom, but then there's like a little sort of outline to everything. It just looks really ugly, but like, I don't like bloom just in general. It just makes things just feel too bright, and then I can't see anything. Let's just disable it. And there's a really good illustration, actually right here. So these, you can actually see what's going on. But if we turn on the bloom, you can't make out anything. Like, reduce it, you can slightly see it, but now I can actually understand what's going on. Oh. Oh. Let's turn it on disable culling for a sec, because that's the apparent thing that should make, okay, it's not doing it. Never mind. Yeah, let's just go on about our day now. Yeah, There is a way to make it, like the field of view more accurate to how it usually is. You just have to have the settings on as you create the save file.
Try not to move during the procedure. We need a stable
Imagine if Metroid series is a indirect sequel to Halo. That'd be fucking funny.
You may proceed.
Of course.
I would like to see like a Halo and Metroid collaboration, and not Haloid. I know a lot of people talk about it, but I have a lot of issues with it.
Initiating DNA verification.
The fighting itself is great, but the very weird stuff near the end, I just really don't like it.
576.
Obviously because it's not accurate to how Samus is.
Preparing biohazard scan. Please approach the scan terminal. Scan complete. No hazardous
Thing is, that shows Samus's body, basically. It highlights her figure. She looks built, but then you actually get to the ending and she's Barbie.
Aren't you Samus Aran? It's an honor to meet you.
See, I find like the Prime games are much more fleshed out than really any other franchise. Like the only one that kind of comes close is Halo. But stuff like that, like people know who Samus is. And it's brilliant. And I'm surprised when they see her. How Samus actually fight with her muscles. Like, her guns, those are actual, you know, guns, not cannon. Not the arm cannon. But no, she does fight hand to hand. She does. And it's very weird that people say, like, Samus shouldn't be muscular because she doesn't actually fight hand to hand. She does in this game. Like, these are arguments people are actually making to me. It's very, very weird to hear them. And they're not presented in a constructive way either. They're all usually, you're an idiot. Stop thinking about it too much. And I'm like, the games do it themselves? I know I sound whingy, but still. Yeah, this cutscene's very weird to see in the higher FOV. Because that, it's like, you're supposed to see a face, but...
Looks like everyone's here now. Before I begin the briefing, let me introduce 242, the flagship's Aurora unit.
Okay, this is way zoomed out.
It's my understanding that the Galactic Federation's core network is comprised of such units.
That is correct, Core, and we serve as the network's master control. However, currently the network...
Oh, look at Chadmiral Dane. Right, this will highlight really how Bloom works. That's reduced. Like, there's so much glow
That seems inefficient.
in this particular part, like in this scene. But it's like you just cannot make out any detail.
Unknown virus. We were forced to bring the network down. Fortunately, our scientists were quickly able to devise a vaccine.
Unit 242 was the first AU to receive the vaccine. We were able to complete.
Oh yeah, Gandrada's a bitch, but she's great.
Where did this virus come from?
We believe the virus is of space pirate origin.
She has a very similar body to. Oh my god, his mouth isn't even moving. This is cursed. That is very weird to see. Yeah, I think we aren't meant to see that. Yeah, I don't like people use the argument that Samus being like not muscular when she's like in the Zero suit is to sort of contrast with the suit, but I heavily disagree with it. Mostly because it doesn't make sense logically. Like, she's a soldier who's been trained since the age of 3. Why does she look like Barbie? No muscle, no scars from battles, no evidence she's had any augmentation. Also, I keep seeing like Dane just occasionally going in and then immediately fading out. Also, this is the bit I'm talking about. You can actually see detail. You can actually read the word space. I think she had muscles in like a cut screen, ending screen, or a Japanese exclusive one, but not in like the proper endings. She was tall, but so lanky. Yeah, and the people have said, like, in Zero Mission, like, she's weak, and so, you know, that's how she's supposed to be overall, and it's like, no, like, even if she was muscular, she wouldn't fight space pirates in hand-to-hand combat, because they have lasers, and there's a lot of them. It's a death sentence no matter what you do. I have no idea what that was. But yeah, like, Samus, the only time Samus has really been shown with muscles is Super.
What is the logic in disrupting a Federation
And that's by far the best design because of that. Oh, look at Samus. It's cool to see these though, because then you get to see like the little shortcuts that developers go through, sorry. Not to like criticize, because you need to take shortcuts.
Thanks to our security protocols, we were able to shut down the network before the damage from the virus
Oh, pardon me.
irreversible.
But we're still vulnerable. If the pirates decide to launch a major offensive, we'd be hard.
The muscle is definitely showing like confusion. That's the thing, like, it's only in one ending screen. I'm not even sure if it was like in the final game or if it's exclusive to one place. But it's kind of only her arms that are, as far as I can remember. Like, her waist is still like anorexic looking.
Activity in the area. You need to know what they're up to.
Condition red.
Oh,
All personnel
Samus was frozen in time.
stations. Repeat. Condition red.
Okay, so like Dread's like suit looks a lot like the boots Dane had there, in terms of like proportions.
Targeting the planetary defense system. Get down to the planet and aid the ground troops. Stop those pirates from disabling the defense system. Go.
Like how Samus is just standing there. Oh, they just stay there as well, frozen in time. Okay, that's weird. I don't know why we're up here and then we spawn here. It's odd. Yeah, there's an option in the settings to like skip all this, but I keep it off just so like the loading has a chance to kick in. You can also see like the pirate ships in the background a lot sooner.
Launch all fighter
Yeah, my game hates this part, actually, now that I think about it. Oh, he dodged.
I'm fine. Don't worry about me. Get down to your ship. Go!
No, like Samus doesn't have a lot of muscle in most of the endings, unfortunately. She's really lanky. And remember, like, it's not...
Thanks for the help, Samus.
It's hard to describe, but it's like... It should be muscle everywhere. I don't just mean her arms are a bit thicker than, you know, how they should be. Like, she doesn't have abs. Like, her legs are still thin. Yeah, like, the suit shows that she should have muscle. But then Samus's health doesn't. Because it's like, the suit is perfectly fine. It's just the original person underneath just doesn't fit it. And that's the thing, we usually see Samus in the suit. So I don't know why the part we don't see too often is seemingly like the priority in that sense. No, let me rephrase it better. Like, I don't see why everything revolving around that just doesn't seem to support it. That's what I mean. Like, because we see Samus in the suit 99% of the time. But then a lot... So, like... First of all, a lot of the fan base likes to only focus on the Zero suit, which I don't like personally. It's like, we don't see her like that all the time, but then the like official Zero suit design doesn't support the power suit design. And it's like, yeah, you could have that argument where it's like, that's a theming thing, but it also just doesn't make sense. It'd be like if Master Chief, like, you know, looked like a twink, for lack of a better phrase of it. But he isn't. He's a muscular, augmented Spartan. And he looks it. Samus should do the same. Because that's the thing. Everything about Metroid, like, it thinks so over the top. It's great, and I love it for it. But the one thing that just doesn't make sense is Samus herself and her design. Like, she doesn't look like she could carry the arm cannon. Like, she's been trained to be a warrior since the age of 3. Why doesn't she look like it? Very weird. Yeah, this whole thing reminds me of Halo 2. It's very clearly inspired by it. I don't mind that, though. And a lot of people do. Yeah, like, it'd be like if Master Chief, like, you know... Well, this is supposed to be far closer than it actually is, but... it'd be like... I don't know. Yeah, it'd be like if Master Chief had, like, anorexia or something, and was still expected to think that he could lift a scorpion. Or fight hand-to-hand against brutes who are, like, twice his size. It's exactly the same situation. And I'm comfortable using Halo as a comparison because, like, the theme... Not theming, but, like, the sort of way the games go about themselves, it's very similar. Like, the games do take themselves seriously. It's not a cartoon like Sonic or Mario. It's not over the top in the sense of like Doom or Bayonetta, where it's just crazy. It's like, this is believable. And so things should look believable. But Samus's design isn't. Can I just... there we go. And a lot of people have like issues with that argument, saying like Metroid's quite realistic and believable. Because then they say like, well, how does the arm cannon work? How does the morph ball work? And I'm sorry if I'm going on a whinge, but like, this is what people say. It's like, how does the morph ball work? The game literally shows you. She turns into energy. Not the common, oh, she literally rolls into a ball and stays there. That's not how it is. The thing is, that's the argument people like to use. Like, Samus looks like Barbie to boost sales, but funnily enough, the best-selling game in the franchise shows Samus the least. Like, Prime, that's the best-selling game in the franchise. You only see her face and head. You never see her out of the suit. And if it was to boost sales, it's really not doing a good job of it. Yeah, I get it. Let me go this way. So it's, I don't like the sales argument, because if you want to do that, then lean into it. Give Samus like a secondary thing where she does have like the backstory or like personal life where she does like enforce what her design shows. But they don't. And so it doesn't make sense. But you also have to cater to the other side of it as well. Like, what else does Samus do? She is a soldier. She should still look like a soldier. Isn't this song a remix of the like boss theme in like Super Metroid? Am I right in saying that? Like the sort of common boss theme. I could be wrong. Oh no, isn't it Fusion? I'm pretty sure it's Fusion. It's either Super or Fusion. I remember reading somewhere. Ow. I usually don't have this much trouble with this guy. No. I think most she thinks of mercenaries. I'm not sure. Probably not in the highest standard because of the fact that he was supposed to be trained to fight them. But they're still human at the end of the day. It is weird to see, like, these angles. But that's a cool shot. Let me close that. Oh, I just had a lag spike. Okay. Right, so I have food waiting for me. I've been streaming for about 3 hours now. I think today was a pretty good day. Yeah, I'm gonna come off here now. Thank you guys for joining in, because it was relatively short notice and I don't stream much. I might stream more though. Just because, like, the stream overall went well. 2 lag spikes, but that was it. Yeah, overall, I'm quite happy with it. Yeah, about 3 hours now. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. This has been pretty fun. I was nervous at first, but, you know, once things settle down, we did pretty well. So I'm gonna come off here now. Hope you guys have a good day, and I will see you another time. Bye-bye.